Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Wherever you might be watching us, we welcome you to this exciting moment here in Forward TV, where we discuss and analyze issues of importance as it borders on existence and, of course, across social, economic, and security. Please kindly hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and of course, share the videos so that others could get to know what is happening around the world and, of course, Nigeria in particular, and how the masses, of course, are feeling over what is transpiring. Today, we're going to look at the report of the United Nations bordering on the emergency of food shortage within the Nigeria. According to the United Nations report, Nigeria joins Somalia, others on the list of hunger hotspots, likely to be hit severely by food scarcity, food insecurity, which means Nigeria is currently experiencing acute food insecurity. The population of Nigerian masses is being threatened or endangered by these developments. You begin to ask what exactly is happening within the Nigerian states. Everything seems to be falling apart, and there seems to be no remedy to the nagging or lingering issues bordering on security, economy, and of course the welfare of the citizens or people resident within the Nigerian states. The insecurity have pushed the farmers out of their farmlands. Needless to talk about the incessant attack on farmers by the Fulani herders and militias, just as they oppose the position of the senators by passing a bill for ranching so that those who rear cattle, not just the Fulanis, their cattle, they could also tame their cattle in a confined place, feed them, and when it is matured for the market, you take them to the designated points of sale. And of course, by so doing, you will not jeopardize other people's rights or interests. Just for instance, I saw a viral video that, where a herdsman was cutting down uh, corn, maize plants that was almost at the point of flowering to produce maize. But unfortunately, he was cutting it down so that the cows and cattle can feed on. Now, this is the latest development, of course, confronting us, and we cannot deny it. The UN reports have revealed and confirmed that Nigeria has joined Somalia and others in terms of hunger spots, hotspots, and with acute severe food insecurity. Let's see what the national dailies report in this regard. That will also confirm and affirm the realities. Nigerians borrow 3.9 trillion as economic crisis buys harder. This is from the Punch newspaper. Nigeria borrows 3.9 trillion as economic crisis bites harder. You know what that means? This is on the pages of national dailies. And it's something no one can deny again, that already Nigeria is in the state of emergency. And the same Punch newspaper or National Daily reports that food price hike worry operators amidst 1.2 trillion agriculture budgets. Food price hike worry operators amid 1.2 trillion agri budgets. What does that mean? This, of course, confirms the findings of the United Nations on the state of affairs within Nigeria. So it's something no one can deny again because the realities are already catching up. It's with us, and of course, we are living in that reality that Somalia possibly might be better than Nigeria, just as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra once prophesied or made projections that if Nigeria continue in this state of lawlessness, insecurity, imbalance in the system, of course, unfair treatment, and lack of judgment and sincerity or political will on the part of the supposed leaders to address these myriads of problems and challenges. Of course, Nigerians will one day desire Somalia visa. Nigeria will beg for Somalia visa to exit or run away from Nigeria. Now, today, the UN have confirmed such projections to be true, and Nigeria is not getting better at all by all considerations in terms of security, food security, security to life and properties of Nigerian citizens within the Nigerian territorial integrity can no longer be guaranteed. It's quite unfortunate, but that is the reality. The prophecy or projection of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has come to pass today. It is a testament of truth. It's a testament and have been affirmed and confirmed even by the government itself and, of course, the national dailies today. It is quite unfortunate what is happening in this country. And to make it worse, even Dangote, the billionaires, are still complaining because of this. Dangote alleges IOCs are frustrating refinery, his own refinery. What has IOCs to do with that? They say everybody is just having to blame others for whatever lapses or inadequacies or incapability have been expressed over the years. Just blame games. This one blames this one blames this, and nobody is taking the responsibility of such uh, economic mishaps. Everybody wants to play safe and want to feel, of course, to be innocent of whatever. Amidst all these things, cholera breakouts, 22 states get kits. Okay, as Lagos uh, cases hit 500. Cholera has to do with basic hygienes, and as such, of course, if there is no uh, healthy environment or hygienic environment protected or promoted, it is bound to happen. Lagos of most recent has become more or less a very dirty place, so to say. You see water logs coming from the gutter, spilling over and lodging over the main roads, and people or those concerns are not taking into considerations the drainage system are filled up, waters overflow through the roads, and of course, people will also walk through them. You know what that means? It is very hazardous and will promote uh, that cholera and other disease related to dirty environment and poor hygiene being entrenched. It's quite unfortunate that this development is unfortunately taking the lives of Nigerian population. And just to make it worse again, the list is endless. Textile industry faces total collapse as revival efforts fails. You know what that means? That textile industries within the Nigerian state faces total collapse as revival effort fails. You know, textile industry has been one of those booming industries in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s, but unfortunately today it has totally collapsed. And this is what the report says on the national dailies, that every attempt to revamp the textile industries has failed. Finally. What does that mean? Millions or thousands of Nigerians who were absorbed, who are working, of course, in textile industries and have created jobs for themselves, either directly or indirectly, of course, will be retrenched and lose their basic source of livelihood. And that will, of course, increase criminality, hunger in the land, poverty is being widened and deepened. What does that tell? Everything virtually collapsing simultaneously. And that is a pointer to the fact that the system is collapsing because even the textiles industries require a robust energy supply to thrive. And unfortunately, the government anti-policies sometimes, uncalculated policies, uh, also uh, facilitates the collapse of these systems. So, what does that tell us today? That Nigeria is the state of emergency, and of course, that projection that Somalia will be better off than Nigeria is just very imminent, just a step to that uh, realities. Now, how could the government weigh in to solve this problem? Unfortunately, there seems to be no direction. There seems to be no way out of this because whatever attempt gets towards this has collapsed. That 3.9 trillion was borrowed. Unfortunately, the state of the economic crisis has deepened. Uh, More hardship for Nigerians and the population of human race within this contraption. It is quite unfortunate. How do we navigate out of this? According to the report on the national dailies again, Naira sells at 1,485 but as against dollar. You see, as official markets, as official forest rates records $23 billion. Do you see that? That despite the forest, the amount that has been pumped into forest, that is not helping issues. It's just like more or less a waste of resources and, of course, a waste of time. And it is not paying off because it is just trying to beat a dead horse to wake up. That is not solution to that problem. And unfortunately, now here says that FG to punish supervisors approving salaries for JAPA workers. It's been alleged that some ghost workers or civil servants or federal public servants who JAPA'd, of course, are still receiving their salaries upon approval by the supervisors. And that, of course, is draining the Nigerian scarce resources. How could a system be so porous, be so loose, be so irresponsible that even when the workers, your employees have left the shores of this country, of course, in search of better or greener pastures or for security reasons, you are still, of course, they are still in your payroll. That shows the height of irresponsibility. And of course, everybody doing whatever he pleases is best protect his interests. It's quite unfortunate. That shows uh, the collapse of the system. There is no system, there is no structure in place. And everybody is just doing, there is no coordination at all. It's quite unfortunate. This is pointing to the fact that everything is coming to a total, possible, irreversible collapse. Okay, as Nigeria joins Somalia and others, you can imagine Nigeria could be compared to Somalia. In fact, that is a decline, of course, abysmal decline in the order of events. No wonder the moral values have declined. Prostitutions as a way of survival, of course, is being embraced by many Nigerians both married and unmarried, as a result of the economic uh, disaster the masses are facing. It has not been easy, of course, on the streets of Nigeria. People are finding it very extremely difficult, uh, just to say the least. You have not talked about the tuition pay if there are families with children, even that of the varsity, primary schools, and all that. So parents are finding it, of course, extremely difficult within the Nigerian state. And unfortunately, those who should have addressed these issues seems to have lost directions and are not in terms with the current realities, or perhaps have run out of ideas on how to solve these problems. What's a country? What's a narrative? Who shall save us from this destruction? Becomes the endless rhetorics. You can understand with the looming uh, food, severe acute food shortage. Of course, it has impacted on the food price hike. And what does that mean? Even the so-called minimum wage or newly proposed minimum wage by the federal government is a dead end. It's a killing wage. It's a suicide wage. In fact, with what is happening today, we are still not talking about the past. And now, somebody that is in the code and eventually snow met him or her, you know what that means. It is quite unfortunate, but that is the reality. How do we get out of there? How do you think that solution could be profiled? Let's get to know your own point of view on the comment sections. And of course, we'll continue these discussions regarding this. But let it be very clear that Nigeria is in the worst economic state, and the inflation is biting harder. And just as the sitting Senator Orjizo Kalu, admitted that Nigerians are hungry, of course, you can deny the reality. Whether he says it or not, the reality is staring at all and sundry. Nigeria is hungry. The unfortunate thing is that my people say the that is by implication or interpretation that a, a hunger that has hope of sustenance cannot kill. But unfortunately, the depression, the level of depression people are, of course, going into presupposes there is no even hope, let alone looking for anything to fall back on. Everybody is at the mercy of hunger, at the mercy of insecurity, at the mercy of, unfortunately, the insensitivity on the part of the government. How can we survive this? Of course, it's a daily puzzle in the minds and faces of Nigerians. And remember, don't forget to hit the like buttons. We're coming again to continue these discussions. Let's have your own input of views via the comment sections. Don't forget to hit the like button, share these videos as we continue to review the latest developments bordering on existence as a people and the way forward. Thank you once again. Bye for now.